Okay, so I recently watched the Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron. First time I ever seen it. Primary takeaway from that movie, birds are not to be trusted. So imagine my delight when I'm going through the Book of Lamentations and ostriches are catching strays. So stay with me here. So in the Book of Lamentations, there's a certain part where Jeremiah is speaking about the mothers from Jerusalem and everything and how they've basically even turned against their own children. Talks about like them abandoning them even eating their own flesh. It says that even hyenas are better mothers. If you're reading the King James Version, I think that one says sea monsters. Even crazier, but point still stands. Basically saying that even things considered awful, they are more like ostriches, which at the time when they observed them, they thought ostriches laid their eggs and just abandoned their children, had wanted nothing to do with them. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Wait a minute. In the book of Jeremiah, previously he had also mentioned ostriches, and I was like, how many times are ostriches mentioned? And I thought about it. In my youth group, I'm a volunteer there, but we were going through the book of Job. Ostriches are there too, and I'm like, man, Bible hates ostriches. But in that book, when God is talking to Job, he actually uses ostriches as an example, talking about how they're viewed as such terrible mothers. Now, a lot of people have used that because in more recent time, when we've actually observed the entire life cycle, we've learned that's not actually what's going on there. Long story short, it's part of the baby life cycle. They bake in the sun when they're like left in the hole in the ground, their nest, because that's part of like instead of them sitting on them. And they lay so many that when the ones around the edge are trampled, that's the first food source that the ones that hatch get. So basically, they do care for their young. It's just part of their life cycle and how they work. But in the book of Job, God's not like affirming this misconception. He's actually using it to tell Job, because Job at the time was questioning him, to tell Job, you don't even know enough to be qualified to question me. And use the ostrich example and says, basically, you think they're a terrible mother, when in actuality, they aren't. You don't know this. You don't even understand. And it even talks about like them being faster than horses, and they like lift their wings and pride and everything. But I just thought that was interesting. That like in the book of Job, which I hadn't thought about that when I first went through it a while back, that God uses this misconception, another example of the Bible having scientific stuff in it that is accurate before we ever even knew about it. Because at that time, nobody knew the actual life cycle of the ostrich and what was going on there. Crazy. And that stuff's all over the Bible. I really love that kind of content. But most important, bottom line, birds are not to be trusted. The Bible confirms it. I'm joking, of course, but